everyone. I'm Scott Logan, and welcome to the session about how AI is going to affect your marketing teams. Now, is it going to take your job? We're going to go into that. How's it going to amplify your job? How's it going to boost everything up? We're going to dive in right now. So, will it take your job? Probably not, but it'll get you promoted. First, a little bit about me. Uh, Lots of years in B2B software marketing, a few years as a sales rep before that, managed big, small teams, publicly traded private companies, been a 10th employee growing into 60 people, also been a part of large enterprise marketing teams where just our division's marketing team, like at United Health Group, was 135 people alone. So definitely been there, done that, seen all sorts of sizes of budgets and everything. So we'll get into some examples for the different types of companies depending on who you are and how you relate to this. So this is what we all want to know. This is the big debated topic right now. Will it take your job? Probably not, but what it's going to do is replace all the tasks. It will change how you work. It will change what you do in your day to day and where the bulk of your time is spent. And the real threat is being outperformed by people who are using AI very well. However, you still need to have a very strong foundation in marketing experience, best practices, knowing what works, knowing what doesn't work, because AI isn't necessarily the end all be all, but it can definitely take someone who's really good and make them stand out. So, reality check. Going back to the original point, it's probably going to have you work within smaller teams. One AI marketer could probably be two to three traditional ones. You still need to have the expertise on certain practices. If you have a lot of events, if you have a demand gen person, you need to have your operations person for those large organizations. Probably still a content person. All the regular roles are still going to be there, but for instance, the old school HubSpot, how they came about, originally they had like 30 content writers for all those blogs and all those best practices. That's no longer needed, really. That team of 30 back then might be now five. And today it'll be the same. So let's go into every single one of those different components of the different roles that are going to be affected, how they're going to be affected, and what we can do to make sure that we are the ones with that current expertise, with that industry knowledge, with that understanding of the sales cycles for our specific type of product that or service that we're selling, and adapt it in a way where we get to be the superpower, we get to be the ones who get promoted as opposed to being replaced. So let's start with the first one, the Gen AI component, content and copywriting. No longer are the days where you're going to need to have a library or index of freelance copywriters. That job most likely will go away. But those aren't the jobs we're talking about right now. Anyway, we're talking about the jobs on the core jobs on the marketing team at these companies. Where I talked about you needing a very strong, solid industry expertise and real solid understanding of your product and the sales cycle. That's where this is going to really come into play and you're really going to shine because even though you can produce all sorts of great content very quickly, each one of those pieces still needs a little bit of tweaking. You need to call out the right differentiators, you need to call out the right key points or properly insert some new products coming down the pipe on the roadmap. You're going to need to layer that in. But in order to create much more for all the needs of a robust marketing team and the expectations that executives have for marketing teams these days, you're going to have to start with an anchor piece of content. This anchor piece of content can now, instead of you having all those interviews with the sales teams, reading all those win wires, which you should probably do yourself anyway, listening to all those calls, you can now just dump in those win wire notes, dump in the call transcripts, and then tell it based on these calls that you've hand selected, based on these pieces of content that you've hand selected, or web pages that you want to pull from. You can now use really quality prompts and explanations of exactly what it is you want to create that long form content, edit that one piece of content, spend the bulk of your time there, and then quickly adapt it to. Now we need SMB versus enterprise angles. We need vertical industry specifics for all the pages and maybe some vertical campaigns that you have. All sorts of use cases for mid to late stage sales cycle support. And one of the hardest things, but it seems a bit nuanced because it can be challenging to adapt it to all the different social channels. What's our personality type on Instagram? What's our personality on LinkedIn? What's our personality in emails and landing pages? And is that different from the website? Here, you can train it and teach it, or just ask it ad hoc to adapt it for these different mediums, and then create a full content package in a matter of a day or two instead of spending weeks doing this and having delays on campaigns because copy needs to be tweaked or adjusted, or now you can make these changes on the fly and you can get to know what the expectations are. The AI can get to know what the expectations are. You can feed it good examples to build off of, and you're just going to be able to create so much more content at such a higher caliber of writing that includes all these little nuggets from the sales transcripts, win wires, case studies, things like that, that it really takes a super experienced person to do. Now, a really solid writer who really knows the industry can adapt and move forward very quickly. Demand gen. Now, if the demand gen person is the copywriter, well, then see the last slide, right? But if you do have a copy person, you don't have to worry about that so much. Now you can use AI in different ways. You can use it for strategy. I'm even using it to say, hey, we have a roadshow coming up. We want to be different than what's been used in the last several years. How can we stand out against our competition? How can we create differentiation in our message at that event or that trade show or this webinar for standing out against status quo? A lot of times, companies' biggest competition is status quo within their customer set, and they like, well, we're good with the pains that we have now instead of the pains of buying something new. Well, now all of a sudden you have all this vast knowledge of the internet to be able to pull from your competition, pull from what's out there, and do quick analysis to build these playbooks, build these campaigns that are much more thoughtful than what you would have been able to create on your own. And even if you don't use those ideas, you're going to be able to tweak and adapt and be inspired by those ideas in that AI conversation to be able to create something really special. And of course, all the sales enablement materials, a lot of times you get bogged down in the busy work of that. Now you can say, create me 4 LinkedIn posts, create me 3 emails. The email stream should look like this for this campaign. And all of a sudden, you're just tweaking some copy here and there, as opposed to this daunting task of building out all of this from scratch. Marketing operations works the same way. Let's not use it mainly for copy. There's way more that AI can do for that. I myself was in a position not too long ago where we needed to switch to a brand new instance of Salesforce for our specific US team. And we had to build it out, but we didn't have a marketing ops or a sales ops person dedicated to the US. They were busy building stuff for the engineering team for the international sales, which was much larger at that organization. So I had to become it. Well, I know enough to be dangerous, but that's not enough to build out a brand new instance of all the automation, and everything. So I'm using ChatGPT as my expert in building out all those automations. How do I do this, this, and this? And then all of a sudden, my memory starts to get triggered on how my sales ops have built things for me in the past, and I'm doing it myself, learning it along the way. I can build it a lot faster. I can get those really advanced automation builds built because it'll give you a step-by-step walkthrough. If it doesn't give you enough specifics, guess what? You get to ask it, break down step number 3 in a click by click walkthrough of how I do this. And almost all the major platforms, Salesforce, HubSpot, Marketo, you name it, it will be able to give you that knowledge because of how much information is put out on the internet from forums and whatever on how to do those things. And now you can do that where you may have had to hire a consultant before. You may have had to hire an agency before. You don't have to do that anymore. You can do it yourself. Now, if you have some time constraints and you just want it to be done by an expert, you have the budget, okay, whatever. Most of the time, especially now, that's not the case. So you can use that money for campaigns now instead of using that money and carving it out for the consultant work that is going to have to be used to keep up uh, with the automation and the sophistication you want for a specific campaign. You also don't have to wait around for your CSM for those platforms. I mean, no knock on Salesforce. I'll buy it all day long, but holy cow, trying to get support from them. Same with any of the marketing automation platforms. They're just so bogged down. And if you're not one of their top tier customers, you're just not going to get the information that you need in a very timely manner. And you may not even get it even after that meeting. Sorry if you work for one of those companies, it's just the way it is. Now you're going to have ChatGPT to do that, walk through what should I check? What boxes should I do? Should I have built this differently from the beginning to avoid this problem? Maybe a quick rebuild would be better for you, and it will walk you through that rebuild as opposed to just continuing down this path of trying to figure out how to do something that you're stuck on and waiting a week, 3 days or more for that expert support or escalating something to the next level where someone actually does know what you're talking about. All those pains are just now gone because ChatGPT is going to have that for you and give you that information in any format, in any level of detail that you want. Uh, marketing operations teams that are 3 people could probably be one now. 30 people could probably be 5 to 10 now. So that's where those jobs for open headcount are probably going to go away. And if you're lower on that ring, you better use ChatGPT to be able to up-level your experience and your capabilities for the team, because some folks who are far more experienced are going to be outperforming you all day long if you don't take advantage of the kind of help that the Gen AI platforms are going to be able to give you. This was kind of new to me until just recently, but we have a fantastic SEO web expert on our team here at Amplify. And I mean, he has an enormous knowledge of how the SEO engines work. But now we have to integrate it to LLMs. We are needing to have ChatGPT provide search results. We need to have Gemini provide sidebar search results. And it's going to be able to give you the information on not only just how to write the SEO uh, favored copy, which that's kind of a no-brainer with this role, but even how to structure the data, how to structure your meta tags, how to structure your information on the page so that Google and ChatGPT can find the information better and actually prioritizes you as the thought leader. This is stuff that I didn't even know, and through the expertise of our SEO person, he's been able to have us show up where we have lead sources coming in from, hey, this wasn't just a Google search, this was Gemini. This wasn't just a demo request. This came sourced from a ChatGPT result. My mind is blown at the speed in which he's able to now keep up with all the changes in how information is being fed to people. And when it comes to things that maybe he's not so skilled at, now we don't need to hire a web developer. We can have him just go through and ask for code. Now, you still need to have a little bit of expertise here because a lot of times that we found the code that it provides doesn't exactly work. So there may be cases for complex web builds you need some expertise, but for some of the basic stuff, maybe 50, 60% of what you need to do, absolutely you can have this done. Obviously, if you're a software engineer and this is a software engineering type of a conference where those people is probably like, no, duh. And then they'll go into how you can get code for like building software and stuff. But for what we're looking at on the marketing and sales team, absolutely, it is something that can help you out in an immense way. There's also this component of the annoying side of our jobs. Having to do all the process documents, the SOP documents, the communication summaries on some of these trainings. Even if you just have, like today, we had a large marketing and sales meeting where we went over all the hot things, all the new content, new hires, changes in our processes in an hour-long meeting, but only half the team could attend. And so we now have a way to load up that transcript, have it give a summary, and with a few quick edits, within a matter of minutes, we were able to push out a really detailed summary for those who now don't have to waste their time going through and listening to the whole hour-long meeting, which is just going to kill their day and their productivity. They can just scan through that document, get the hits that they need. If they want to go ask a question, they now know who to ask it from. Now, with any of these automate the annoying type of things, there are some Gen AI softwares that are better than others. There's ones that are better at sales call transcripts. There are some that are better at meeting documentation. You just need to experiment with some of this and find the one that works for you, because they all tweak a little bit. The general ones will give you a general quality result. But if you need something that's a little bit more high end, a little bit more quality, you'll need to then find the one that is niche for exactly what you're looking for. And you're just going to be able to communicate faster, have people work better, obtain knowledge faster. It's just going to make the entire organization, especially on the sales and marketing side, move together in the same motion at a much faster pace and much more in sync than ever before. So what happens next? Force yourself to do it. If you aren't doing it now, wow, that's probably why you're here. Start doing it now. Start with one tool, probably one of the basics, ChatGPT. You're going to need to get a paid subscription to one of these, though, because the amount of information you're going to need to feed into it to provide the level up output that we're talking about, you will need to have those limits gone. Whether it's on design, whether it's on copy, whether it's on inputs, whatever it is, you are going to need to have something a little bit more advanced, but start with one and start with one objective and then expand from there. If it's just you solo and you are the marketing team, that's super important, but then try to expand quickly. If you have different expertises on your team, we have about 5 different areas on our team of people who have certain expertise in what they do. We'll tell them, use it. Try it for all different items. Just Google search, how do I use this in this role? Or even ask ChatGPT, how do I use this in my role to advance it? What can you help me with? And it will give you all the things that it can help you with. And then if it's not giving you the output you want, that's when you go out and try and find that special tool that's designed specifically for what it is that your job does to provide the quality of output that you need, and then document what works, share that amongst your team, and just make sure that everyone is in a position where they can now work smarter and harder and be able to provide that level of output without burning midnight oil all the time, to be able to keep up with the demands of the executive team, keep up with the demands of the sales team that seem to be ever increasing, especially as, we're not working in this world of money is free on the VC side. Everyone's trying to take the more what's the healthy growth approach for all these teams and companies. So that's why this is also super important. The share your successes, share how you're using AI with the executive team so that they're understanding, hey, we just don't have a good marketer. We have a good marketer who's increasing their output because of AI. I tell my high schooler, okay, you're not supposed to use ChatGPT or Gen AI on your homework, but definitely start messing around with it, because when you get to the work world, you're not going to be able to succeed, especially in those entry-level jobs, if you can find one quickly, which might be kind of hard because there's not going to be this very long hierarchy of become a coordinator, then become a manager, then become a director. People are looking for folks who are experienced right out the gate, and this can help get you there faster. And just share that knowledge. Final takeaways. Again, you need the experienced people to begin with. Uh, you need to have quality inputs, quality prompts, push the limits of it. If it gives you an output, don't just ask for a new version. Dive in and direct it exactly how you want it done better. Uh, Give it better inputs and additional information to get that quality that you want, and then tell it back, hey, this one was really good, or this is something that a human created that was really good. I want you to mirror this. Or for LinkedIn posts, I want you to mirror this tone. For email, mirror this tone. And it will learn that, especially when you have those paid versions and it memorizes all those things. You can do that. So, been using this quote my entire career when I learned it from one of the first marketing positions that I took way, way, way back when. If you don't like change, you'll like irrelevance even less. I think it's even more relatable now than ever before. So I know that was fast. I know that was quick, but I hope you got some takeaways. I hope you're able to now uh, use some of these ideas to advance your own team, advance your own marketing team and sales team's output, and just become more successful and embrace it. Embrace AI. Don't just think of it as a copywriting tool. Find new ways that maybe we haven't even thought about yet today that you can create a more successful career and productivity output than ever before. Thank you so much. Have a good one.